Got it up there. All right. So, welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Sander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. Appreciate you guys diving in on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, Saturday night for those of you on the East Coast. I want to start off by telling you guys that while you're coming into the podcast, you can always benefit from clicking this link down below. If you are on Twitch or YouTube, click the link and then approve the mic, approve the camera. It'll bring you into our green room, which will give you the ability to first be confirmed that you're over the age of 18 before we put you on this adult podcast, and then we can put you up on the show. Once we confirm that you are an adult, we will be able to put you up onto the show. You can turn off your camera so that you're not seen, and you can then come up by voice, or you can come up in real time visually and be able to voice your opinions on the show. Typically, open forum, open opinion podcast where you are able to say what you think and how you feel about stuff, respectfully though, because we do have some community guidelines that we have to adhere to. So no direct hate speech or anything to that effect. But being able to put your point out there, whether we agree with each other's points or not, doesn't change the fact that we can, in a healthy fashion, communicate and discuss our differences of opinions on the podcast. So with that being said, I want to make sure that you guys also make sure that you like and subscribe. Strongly encourage this, because if you guys are able to like and subscribe for the podcast and potentially join the membership, that would also be an added bonus, because with the membership, you get discounts varying from your lowest tiers to your highest tiers, because I think we have about 6 tiers of membership on our podcast right now. And out of those different levels, you'll get different tiers towards our merchandise. We have over 150 items so far. We are working on more, but since we have about 150 items so far, I strongly encourage that you check those out so that you'll be able to pick up some memorabilia from the show to show your appreciation for the show. It also helps us for the podcast, because even the smallest podcast costs money. So help us produce better quality content for you. Now, in addition to that, we have affiliate products throughout the program, throughout the podcast, and on a lot of our post-recorded shorts and long form videos. If you go and check those out, it will also give you the ability to pick up some good deals from some of our affiliate representatives that will probably make your day, for those of you that still like to shop after I told you to invest instead of spend. So I am going to be an enabler. I'm going to give you the ability to go and spend on whatever you think is fair, because it'll help the podcast, and the podcast will be able to then flourish from your shopping spree. So by all means, pick something up. Likewise, we are live 7 days a week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, and 5 Pacific. So we encourage you guys to come and see us 7 days a week. I don't take any days off. We have a co-hosted show Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It is a solo show Thursday through Sunday. We do spend more time talking about relationship style topics. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have a lot of current events discussions that typically go over pretty well. Still working on improvements on our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday shows, but you can see all of our pre-scheduled shows as far out as, I do believe, the 21st of September, which means that you should be able to see all of the content for the month, where you would be able to then be able to select those items that you would like to watch, hit the notification button. And that is what the benefit is from having a subscription on a YouTube channel, because 30 minutes before the show is scheduled to air, you are given a reminder that the show is about to air, so that you can make time to be at the show. In addition to that, For those of you that are on TikTok, over here in the bottom right corner, there is a subscription button there. If you click that link, it'll take you straight to the YouTube platform where you can subscribe and then double back, because it doesn't matter where you join the show at, as long as you get notifications on the show, that would be encouraged. Now, from what I understand, TikTok and Twitch do not give advance notice of the airtime of the show all of the time. So we want to give you guys the opportunity to know that, hey, we're about to go live. So we encourage you to go to the YouTube platform and go and grab that. I do believe I covered everything. So let's go ahead and get things rolling with our topic of the day. Now, today's topic is pretty interesting because we're going to be talking about a lot about how a wife can be a better wife, or not a wife, how a woman can be a better wife in comparison to the statistical norm. And ladies, jump in if you want to. For those of you that are on TikTok, you guys can actually request to join the platform, and we have to figure out how to get that to work, because it'll put you up. We'll be able to see you on TikTok, but the people that are on YouTube and Twitch side probably won't be able to see it here. We're still trying to integrate everything together. It requires a lot of stream keys, and the maintenance man doesn't actually have the key on his pocket, so we got a fabricated key. It's all kinds of crazy stuff. So the premise of today's show is specifically, how to get in there and be a good wife, qualify for marriage. And then the question is, will you take that advice? Now, there's going to be a lot of overly masculine alpha boss ladies that are going to object and protest to this particular show today. And from what I understand, that's a good thing. Negative attention is still attention. I prefer positive attention, but any feedback is all welcome on the podcast. If you completely dislike what I say, or for those women that have taken it upon themselves to come and shame a man for making a statement that helps a woman be better suited for men, then by all means, deliver your hate speech. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to block or ban anybody who has negative comments to say, as long as those negative comments are formulated in an appropriate fashion. Keep in mind, you can talk shit with respect, and I'll put it up on the show. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're respectful about how you talk shit, I'll put it up on the show. Because that's what it's about. Say what you want to say. I'll say what I want to say, but we have to do it with respect. So let's get in here. Oh my God, Tatar Seville. Whew, that's the name. Mishka. We appreciate you popping in just to come to take a look. Let's go ahead and get moving. In the past, we've talked about this on the show about how women believe that they are wife material when just because they're attractive. We have come to understand that the expectations for women have been so low over the generations. Not even after women's liberation. I do believe it just really started plummeting in the 2000s. And because, it ain't tricking if you got it and all this, where if a man puts up enough money, a woman will accept the offer, and then all she has to do is sleep with the man and hang around the man and look cute, and then she gets his resources. Well, men have evolved from their primitive lustful behavior, especially middle-aged men, and they have more expectations from their woman to be an actual partner. Now, I've said this on the show plenty of times that and I got to make a short out of this a couple of times, but I've said it on the show quite a few times, where generation to generation to generation, even though men do not have male role models on a regular basis, at least not starting out, not in their youth, not all of them. They still find a way to come across sage men that will tell them and teach them and educate them of the ways of how to find a reasonably a good quality woman. And what men do is they pass down from generation to generation women's common expectations. Now, not all women are the same, but there are some base level expectations that women expect. And if a man does not meet those basic expectations before the inflated expectations come into play, they don't even qualify. So they don't even qualify as men. They get demeaned as boys. Now, this means that a boy becomes a man when a boy recognizes that as a man, he is supposed to protect and provide for the people that he loves. That means he has to go out and get a job. But not all of them get an appropriate job, but once they have a mentor that comes up and takes them under their wing, they're encouraged to get a respectable job. So they might be encouraged not to do something that is unstable or dangerous or life-threatening with lack of satisfactory results. Not getting involved in a life of crime in order to make income, stuff to that effect. Because as a man, you were required to protect and provide for your family to the best of your ability at all times. Now, being self-sacrificing has its downsides to that, because if you sacrifice yourself, you are no longer going to be available for this particular task, this privilege, as well as this right and obligation. So you have to make better decisions for yourself and the people around you so that you are capable of continuing to do what you are designed to do, which is protect and provide for the foreseeable future. Now, since men are taught that, men are also taught that they are supposed to be able to afford to support the woman as well as the children that comes from the woman. So men are not taught that they need to find a woman that has good income so that they can come together and make a reasonable standard of living. Instead, men are taught that they need to find ways to increase their income and increase their social and financial status so that they can become more acceptable to the female culture. On the flip side, though, women are not taught that. From generation to generation to generation, women teach girls that they don't need men, that they can be self-sustainable, and they can be leaders, and they have all the same rights as men, while saying that the men don't actually have the right to be men. Then they turn around as they get older and say that men are worthless because the men are not capable of providing and producing the things that the women expect the men to produce to the levels that the women expect the men to produce. And then women should ascribe to find men that are capable of producing the expectations of that woman. Now, here's the interesting part about that. And I could jump in whenever you want to. The interesting parts about that. Nowhere in there is a older woman mentoring a younger woman to say, hey, men look for partners, men look for a companion. It's not just about the sex. It's about making sure that your man is being taken care of, that your man is being kept so that he can get out there and make that bag for you and bring it back to you and take good care of you. They're not saying that. They're also not saying that even if you wanted to contribute into the situation, which you have every right to do, because women's liberation fought for the equal right to have equal responsibility. Women's liberation did not fight for women's right to have no responsibility. So in this regard, women have the right and obligation and privilege to get out there, earn that bag, and take care of the house on the same platform as the man. Now, I've said this on the show plenty of times before. that a man that is on the same same level as the woman, that man is capable of providing the lifestyle to that woman that woman can provide for herself. That's somebody that is on her level. A man that acquires a woman and then elevates that woman where she has increased accessibility to resources, a more improved standard of living, increased accessibility to a larger network. He has elevated her. So he picked her up and brought her up to his level, which means that they were not on the same level. Now, men are conditioned in the Western culture to typically find women that are beneath him and then elevate those women to his level. That turns into a problem because, women who are ending up on this man's level are going to belittle and shame the man and then express that the man is not valuable to her because she is not elevating from her current status, and then follows the mentality of I can do bad all by myself. Well, you can do good all by yourself also. And you're not getting a companion to do better than you were doing by yourself. You are getting a companion so that you have a companion while you are either doing good or doing bad in your lifestyle. So the age-old mentality of I can do bad all by myself is not supposed to reflect the fact that if you're already struggling and you find somebody that wants to spend the rest of his life with you and he will struggle with you and try his best to make it less difficult for you, that man is not worth your time, because if he's not taking away your struggle, then he's not valuable to you. That mentality is wrong. Because if you think about it, wrap your mind around the fact that if he's supposed to relieve your struggle, then you're supposed to be relieving his stress, because now he's taking your struggle onto his shoulders with his struggle, right? Now, if you're supposed to relieve his stress, anything that he's not capable of doing because he's taking care of your struggle and his struggle is supposed to be your responsibility to take care of so that he's not struggling. Because you're supposed to aid him in keeping peace in his life, keeping his house a sanctuary, not a battlefield, and showing him the respect and the admiration and the appreciation for taking your obligations off of your plate so that you no longer have this stress. That is balance. That's uniformity. But to believe that just because you're cute, that you should take all of this man's resources just because you're cute, I don't understand that. I disagree with that. I believe that just because you're cute means you're cute. You can be cute and not capable at all. So in this particular topic, when we start discussing qualifications of being a good wife, a good girlfriend is wife material. Did you know that? Not too many women think that. Many women think that they deserve to be a girlfriend because they're single and they're attractive, so they should be able to commit to anybody, and that commitment in and of itself qualifies her to be a girlfriend. No. That qualifies you to be a consistent sex partner. Doesn't qualify you to be a girlfriend, because girlfriends are in the process of becoming wives, where you have wife material. You might be missing some of the things that are necessary in order to become the wife. As a result, you would then be able to learn what needs to be learned from the boyfriend to qualify further to become the wife. And then while you implement these tasks on a regular basis, you then become the fiance, which is the transitional phase into being the wife. But the girlfriend is the training phase. You have potential to be a wife, but that does not make you a wife. We don't make wives, we marry wives. See what I'm saying? If you're just a girlfriend, you're not quite wife material. So this ultimately means that we would have to mold you and show you what needs to be done to be acceptable as a wife. That does not mean that, look at you, you're attractive and you're a wife. That means that you girls have to show up and do things and implement things that actually shows your ability to be a partner to your boyfriend and then be a partner to your husband. If you're not doing that, if you're not putting that effort in there, then you're not being a partner to your boyfriend or your husband. So we wanted to talk today about what advice can we give women who seek marriage? And then will those women take that advice? Well, one of the first things that I'm going to tell you that most women don't tell other women. And I know that when I say this, that feminist women are going to probably jump into the comments, at least after the show, and call me all kinds of misogynistic, narcissistic, and manipulative men, because I'm being realistic. I'm being logical, and it's an even trade, or not so much an even trade. It's a balanced trade. Since the transactional relationships between women and men in the United States are that the women get the finances from the men, if the women provide the appropriate partnership to the man, the best advice that a man can give a woman about how to be a wife material is to do the one thing that women object to on a regular basis, is to go to your man and find out the things that he wants, needs, and expects from his wife. And then as the girlfriend, do that without the requirement of being married first. Because we actually have a lot of women that say, oh, well, if you want me to do these wifely duties, that you got to put a ring on this finger, where the women are not qualifiable to be girlfriends. They're not qualifiable to be wives. And their demand is that they get the promotion before they do the job. Now, I'm just going to ask you guys, and you guys can make it make sense for me. When has an employer ever given you a job when you didn't qualify? And then ask you another question on top of that. When have you ever worked for an employer where your employer promoted you when you refused to do the job, just so that you could do the job? I don't recall it ever happening. From what I experienced and what a lot of people in this country have experienced, is that when you work for an employer, you do more than your basic job title. And you continue to do more than your basic job title until your manager, supervisor, whatever, has observed your consistency in accelerated productivity. And then they give you the title you have already been doing and give you the pay increase for the work that you have already been doing. They don't just give it to you to see if you can handle it. They see if you can handle it first, and then they give it to you. Likewise, in a relationship, men have to see if this woman has the qualities and the capabilities to be a wife. They have to teach her the things that she needs to know if she's lacking these things, so that she can be a better wife. And then we have to see if she is going to perform these wifely duties consistently on a regular basis. And if she can, then she becomes a wife. Now, women that are going to say, no, you got to give me the ring first. You got to wife me first before I do wifely duties. You're gonna stonewall the engagement and say that we're not going to show productivity until we get what we expect to have. Strong arming a relationship is not a good way to go. So let's start from the beginning. Overly aggressive behavior patterns from women, not suitable for girlfriends. Being overly dominant in your relationships, in your engagements of men, not suitable of being a girlfriend. If it's not suitable of being a girlfriend, it's definitely not suitable for being a wife. bossing your man around and threatening your man and trying to dominate your man with sheer force, not good to be a girlfriend. So these types of behaviors, you ladies gotta stop that. You ladies gotta stop that. If you start the funny thing about these types of women, because it's not all women, but these types of women that perform these behaviors are the type of women who violate men's non-negotiable expectations for behavior. Because you're attractive, these women believe that they can hit on their men, they can grab their men's clothes, they can threaten their men, they can they don't just threaten their men, they can deprive their men of love and affection and sexual attention to manipulate and control their men into doing what they want him to do. Do you know that you will get a lot further from a man? He will give you whatever you want if you just respect him and appreciate him and value him. So you know that a man would probably spend more of his resources on you if you cater to his every whim, because now he is being taken care of emotionally and physically, which encourages him to take care of you financially. You can take care of yourself financially, but you do not get into a relationship, or you're not supposed to be getting into a relationship for financial comfort. So if you're not getting into the relationship for financial comfort, then his income doesn't matter. Him making you happy and you making him happy should be the only thing that matters. But how much money does he make, and what prestigious job does he have? If that's what matters to you, then his companionship doesn't matter to you. And that's the issue that we have. That's the misconception in today's society. So the encouragement that we're having now for the men is that we have to stand on our non-negotiable expectations for behavior in order to weed out the bad women from the good women, the non-wife material from the wife material. And then if we can't find it here in the United States, then we just got to go somewhere else and go find it. That's how it works. And the way this would benefit the women is, and I know that we've seen this on other podcasts where they say, well, you know, bow to your men. Yeah. Bowing to your man might make your man, some men, feel overly enthusiastic. I can't say that because I've never actually had a woman bow to me or kneel in any way, shape, or form outside of, you know. So I can't really say that specifically bowing to me will give me a heightened level of impact. However, I can say that, you know, showing me more respect, greeting me when I come into the house, appreciating me, valuing me, showing me compliments, that actually does give me a heightened feeling of validation and appreciation. And a lot of men will say that because men do not get compliment. We are told when we make mistakes. Men are told when we're not doing right, when we're not doing enough. Men are told when we're doing too much. But a man is never told that we're doing a good job. A man is never told that you're trying hard enough, that, you know, you should take a break because you're wearing yourself out. Men are never told that, you know, you're proud of them for their attempts to see things through. And since men are never told these things, we have an issue where you're not bringing in the same quantity of validation that you're expecting from your man. And let's entertain that for a second. Because ladies, this actually does also play a factor into becoming a good wife, because women, you ladies are going to dress attractive. You're going to put on your outfits, regardless of whether or not they're scantily clad or appropriate and conservative. You're going to put on your outfits, put on your makeup, put on your fake everything that you put on, and then you're going to parade yourself around and expect compliments for how you look. You're going to probably, especially when you're taking photos and videos of yourself looking this way, you're looking for, when you go back to that post, that video, that photo, you're looking at all of the compliments and the DMs from all of the men that see, and the women that are promoting the fact that you look attractive. You're fishing for compliments. You're fishing for validation. Now, one thing you don't see is men doing the same thing. But my point is, if you think that you look good, you think that you look attractive, you think that you should get praise for existing, for accomplishing a task, why is it that you same ladies will not do the exact same thing for the men that you engage in life? I'm not just saying your boyfriend. I'm not saying your husband. I am saying that men in general, because when you fish for compliments in your society, whether you're fishing for compliments on social media, whether you're fishing for compliments in your day-to-day life with the way you carry yourself, the compliments that you get from other people would still constitute that in your society, you should be complimenting more men, since you're getting more compliments from men. And we're not talking about cat calls. We're not talking about, the inappropriate slang that the Gen Z generation is throwing around these days. We're talking about specifically appropriate. You look beautiful today. You look cute. When they tell you thank you for helping out, or thank you for, holding that door, or getting me that whatever. And then as women, y'all should be able to do the same thing. Do you see that elderly guy sitting by the door greeting people all day long? You should be able to go in there and tell that man, you're doing a good job. I appreciate seeing you here every day. That makes a person feel great at their job. The lady at the cash register, hey, take your time. You're doing a great job. These things it takes little to no effort. But getting into the practice of complimenting somebody else for their actions and activities that positively impact your life, and instead of only complaining about the things that interfere with your ability to obtain your overly inflated expectations, then you would actually get a lot further. You've got somebody cutting your grass, and they cut your grass without waking you up. Hey, I appreciate you. Did a good job on keeping the grass low. That's what you're paying them to do. But I appreciate you always showing up to get that grass cut. It's a whole different atmosphere. Now, if you take that and you apply that into your relationship, ladies, you do this all the time. And this actually probably is something more common than not amongst all women, is that you ladies will put on an outfit, and then you'll ask your man if he thinks that you look attractive in that outfit. Now, my question is, ladies, he doesn't ask this. Your man just puts on clothes. You don't pick out his clothes for him. You don't iron his clothes for him. You don't make recommendations as to how he should wear his clothes so that you will be more encouraged to compliment his style. But you should be complimenting his style, not changing his style into your type. But let's just look at man gets dressed. You guys are getting ready to go somewhere. It could be something important. It could be something casual. You guys could just be hanging out on a couple's date. Doesn't matter. The way that you expect him to compliment you and tell you that you look good today, that you look good for this activity, is the way that you should be able to compliment him and tell him you look good today. You look good for this activity. Same thing. We have some women that complain about doing the household chores and stuff to that effect. Not everybody has to do them. I mean, we got dishwashers. We've got automated vacuum cleaners. We've got a lot of stuff that really takes a lot of the household chores out. And then you can just hire a housekeeper if you can afford this. But just for those people who actually do handle those household chores, when your girlfriend or your wife cooks for you, and you're able to say, thank you, and the food tastes good. Likewise, ladies, when man's doing stuff around the house, he's moving the furniture the way you asked him to, he's lifting heavy objects like you asked him to, you know, you should be able to thank him for lifting that box and thank him for moving those objects around. If you have a boyfriend or a husband that cooks, you should be able to thank him and tell him that the food tastes great, as opposed to only pointing out when the man makes a mistake or when the man has a lapse of good judgment, or just talking down to the man because you didn't get what you wanted out of the situation. Paying attention to the love languages of your spouse and your partner, where you are a partner in this two-party relationship, and your goal is to provide your partner with what he or she needs so that they can be validated in the relationship, is the obligation of both parties involved, not just the man to make the woman feel special. The woman is supposed to also encourage the man to feel special. Uniformity. A lot of these things are taboo in foreign discussions, because when men start talking about equality in the fashion where women must perform to give the men equal expression of equality, that's when women start getting up in arms. Ladies, you should not be in a relationship until you are capable of treating your boyfriend and your husband the way you expect to be treated in your relationship, which means that you start this situation off. How you are taking care of your man, that's how your man should take care of you. That's equality. So you want a man to take you out to dinner and spend a bunch of money on you on dinner, you need to take your man out to dinner, spend a bunch of money on him. You want to be taken shopping on a regular basis, take him shopping on a regular basis. You want to go on trips around the world, take him on trips around the world. Then it'll be his obligation to reciprocate. That's equality. Women are not going to agree to that. Women are not going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to date this guy, but I'm going to pay for all of his food, all of his clothes. I'm going to pay for his bills. I'm going to put gas in his car, pay for his car insurance. Then I'm going to buy him plane tickets and send him to Egypt. And we're going to go out there and look at the pyramids together. And then I'm flying back. And then I'm going to take him to the Bahamas right after that. No woman is going to say that. No woman is going to say that. But some of these women that we talk to on a day-to-day basis in 2024 expect that kind of treatment. We have a lot of women that are not as valuable as we thought, that will come up and ask you, oh, take me out. I only eat steak. Do you? Well, then why don't you take me out on a steak dinner? And then in return, I'll take you out on a steak dinner. And if we did get about a second date, you take me out on a steak dinner, since you only eat steak. But let's be real. Women that say that they only eat steak, they're lying. They probably forgot what a steak looked like. They wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a porterhouse, a T-bone, or a filet mignon. But if they set the par for the man and say, as a man, I will only respect you if you can afford to buy me steak dinner on a regular basis, she benefits from the man accepting that challenge and then taking her out on steak dinners, where he's looking at $200-$400 a meal, when this woman is normally eating $1.50 a meal, because he's probably at the house chewing on ramen noodles, cereal and milk, takeout, McDonald's, $1.30 for a sandwich. She's not eating steak. Only time she eats steak dinner is when she's getting steak tacos, which are $2. So to give yourself steak dinner, where you're spending $10 on steak tacos every day, and then expecting this man to take you out on a $200 steak dinner, he's not taking care of you on the same level that you're taking care of yourself. And I beg to differ that if a woman was to ever tell me, oh, well, are you going to take me out? I probably would. Oh, I only eat steak. You're probably not going to get steak the first couple times we go somewhere. You're probably not going to get steak the first 5 or 6 times that we go somewhere. We're probably not going to go someplace to eat every time we go somewhere. Might just go somewhere that only sells beverages. Because in order for me to facilitate funding you steak level dinner, you have to show me that you are more than just your looks to qualify for steak level dinner. So, and then on top of your looks, your attitude has to be up there as well. Because without that, then it's not worth the man's time. So when women are coming to find what makes a good wife, well, first of all, if you're going to be that good partner, if you're going to be that good companion, where you're going to cater to the needs of the man, then you're actually going to be more of wife material than a woman that just looks attractive. Here's the thing. Women are not going to agree to this a lot of the times, especially the over alpha boss ladies, the over masculine alpha boss ladies. You ladies are not going to agree to this a lot of the times. But let's just look at being a wife is like being a helper. Helpers help. They find something to do. Doesn't matter what it is. They find something to do that makes the situation better for the man, not for yourself, for the other person. If a man is hungry, he's fed. If a man clothes is dirty, they get washed. If the man's house gets dirty, it gets cleaned. If tasks around the house need to get done, it gets done. If tasks in day-to-day operations need to get done while the man is at work, it gets done. If the man works overnight and he's sleeping and stuff got to get taken care of while he's sleeping, it's getting taken care of while he's sleeping so that he can focus on going to work and then coming back home. And while he's not sleeping, he can give you his undivided attention because you took most of those other responsibilities off of his plate so that he could focus on the primary responsibilities of making sure that both you and him, and in some situations the kids, are all well taken care of. And then he still has time for you to be able to spend time with you and hang out with you and stuff. So if we have some of these women that are in our modern day 2024 society where they're making dating nearly impossible because you want to look attractive, sleep with the man, and be financially supported, the issue that we have there is by financially supporting the man, you are in a situation where the man is giving you the things that you need and you're not reciprocating because the things that he needs is going undone. We actually had a woman come on the show. She was talking about how she wanted a man to take care of himself while she's dating him. So she takes care of herself, he takes care of himself, and then he can spend his money on her at the same time. I'm going to tell y'all that was a bad mentality to have. That was some of the lowest quality mentality that we have had come up onto the show when someone says, well, we're going to come together. You're going to spend your money on me. I'm going to spend my money on me. You take care of yourself. You do you. If you were taking care of yourself before I got here, you should take care of yourself now that I'm here. That is the wrong mentality to have. Because no woman is going to say, oh, well, I'm going to get with this man and I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to spend my money on him. And then he's going to take care of himself and say that that is a good relationship. No woman's going to accept that. Even though there are very few women that will say, well, I'll be the breadwinner and I will take care of things and you take care of the mediocre tasks around the way while I'm at work. There are some women that will say that. Very few, though. And the funny thing is, men are not looking for that woman. Men are not looking for a financially successful woman. Men are looking for a partner. So in order for ladies to be able to be a good partner and be a good companion for this man that will qualify her to be a fiance, to be a wife, you have to be a helper and a partner and cooperate with this man on an equal platform as the man, instead of being in a position where you're not capable of providing the man with the things that he needs. Does that make sense? Now, I think I'm going to wrap it up a little bit early today because it looks like we got a lot of stuff that we got to cover for tomorrow. Tomorrow night is Sunday night. Tomorrow is our members only show where we're going to have a lot of us answering and asking questions and comments from the fans. Tomorrow, you're strongly encouraged to show up for the members only platform and be able to get involved in the discussions. So since we got to piece that stuff together, I'm going to tap out a little bit early today, and we're going to get you guys some juicy content for us to talk about for tomorrow. Likewise, we're responding to all of the fans in the comments. So if you guys got some input that you would like to share, by all means, go ahead and comment in the comment section. We love to hear your thoughts. Even if they're negative, they just have to be appropriate. I respond to as many people as I can, as fast as I can. So most people that comment will get a response. Unless their comment is inappropriate, then you'll notice that your comment won't remain on the platform. So if your comment remains on the platform, your comment is widely encouraged, even if it is negative. So with that being said, we would like to see you guys come back tomorrow for our members only show, just to see the wild and crazy things that people talk about on a day-to-day basis that we also get asked after the show. And we're going to kind of go over some of these things and then actually provide some light onto some of the comments that have been made by some of our fans in recent times. In addition to that, before I sign out, I definitely want to make sure that I give you guys a special thanks. I appreciate you guys for coming to the show. Liberty Twitcher, Red Void, and Silly Emma for diving in on Twitch, and showing love for us on the show. Red Void, we're going to get your profile up here from YouTube because we appreciate you doubling down and following us on 2 different platforms. You guys are excellent for showing us that support. Every little bit helps. You guys, that's what I forgot at the beginning of the show. Talk to you guys about the super likes, the super thanks, and the super emojis, because being able to donate to the platform helps support the platform, and it gives us the ability to provide you guys with better content and better service. In addition to that, I want to give a special thanks out to some of the biggest promoters in this country. We want to thank you guys from New York, Florida, California, Texas, Illinois, and Georgia, North and South Carolina. You guys have been showing us some love. We really appreciate you guys for doing what you do. And then lastly, I want to give a special thanks out to some of the places around the world, because you guys are increasing your numbers. So Russia, Vietnam, United Kingdom, India has been doing a good job of following suit this past month. Germany, Australia, South Africa, Mexico, Canada, Indonesia, Philippines, and Romania. I want to thank you guys for showing us love on a regular basis. It definitely makes us feel good to know that we are accepted and respected worldwide. So we're going to keep doing what we do, live 7 nights a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. So we encourage you guys to come and take a look at the show. And likewise, what I typically tell you guys on my way out of the door is, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to continue to encourage you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, make it make sense. And now that we have tapped out on Twitter, I want to be able to tell you guys on Twitch and YouTube, we really appreciate you guys for coming to the podcast and showing us love. You guys have shown us some of the most support. We're trying to integrate TikTok with Twitter into the platform, and once we get there, we'll probably have a more wider open forum discussion. But until we get there, we're building up because we're a small podcast. As you see at the bottom of the screen, we have round about 12,000 subscribers on the platform right now. So we really appreciate you guys showing up and giving us that support. Even behind the scenes, we really appreciate that. Sharing links of our content to other places. That just gives us a little bit more of an opportunity to provide our information to more people. So we really appreciate you guys. And that as we sign out today, I just want to say thank you guys very much. So I'm your host, Sander, and this is This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night in our members only show.